times though. Darren goes 205.338. Meanwhile, Gardner 205.247. So just under a tenth of a second quick from David Gardner then means that the pace overall is in his favour. It's in the BMW's favour.
Great example of why in international competition balance of performance is such a tricky subject to get right in GTs, be it in prototypes. Yes, power to weight ratio seems like a logical solution in theory, but things like drag coefficients, aerodynamics, it all changes things, it all makes things a little more difficult. Even drivability and things like that all can play a factor in a BOPing process. Of course, there isn't a true BOP in this series, but nonetheless, it is an interesting case study in what makes a race car go fast. Sometimes it is more than just power to weight ratio. So, just to say, Dylan Brichter has just got through into 4th place as well, so he's got past Scott Parkin on this lap in the number 2 car for 4th overall. We've got a good scrap going on further back there as Kevin Sterling is under pressure from the little number 4 Lotus of Steve Summers. Summers pressuring the back of the Clio.
Yeah, that team from Clio, he's under pressure and defending hard there. You see the rear right tire just almost cocking a leg up going through there. That's just how much that Sterling is trying to push on to keep ahead of Steve Summers then in his Lotus Elise. Again, trying to go defensive as they now make their way onwards. They go towards Brundle, and you see Steve Summers looking left, looking right. There's just no way through for him at the moment.
Not yet, but the race is still somewhat young. Let's see what happens in that scrap. The lead scrap, it's 0.6 of a second between them last time across the line between Darren Goes and David Gardner. So the gap is about much of a muchness right now. Fluctuates by a couple of tenths either way, lap to lap, but they're still very much in the midst of battle at this stage, as is Steve Summers, who once again tries to get the little Lotus around the outside of the comparatively gargantuan Renault Clio driven by Kevin Sterling, another car that looks like a van when put against a small lightweight British sports car. The Mark IV Renault Clio. Sterling, though, doing a sterling job of holding off the little Lotus.
So far so good as they make their way up towards Riches. Good battle between the two of them. That's for 8th place overall, of course. They're both in different classes, but no one told them that. They're just scrapping for overall position.
You haven't met a racing driver if you think they can be deterred by things like, oh, that driver's not in your class, and are they ahead of me? Yes. They're on the same lap. Yes. I'm going to try. Looks to me like that BMW is slowing down. Gardner has suddenly slowed to a crawl coming out of Williams, and the car that was second is now down to third and continues to slow. What a shame for David Gardner, who was having a great race with Darren Goes, keeping Darren Goes honest every inch of the way. And it seems as if that BMW may have tried enough.
Well, yeah, unless we see a little bit of a control of delete like we saw last race, it is limping back to, I assume it's going to be trying to limp back to the pits. Where it will go from there with 5.5 minutes to go is anybody's question, is anybody's guess at this time. But that allows Darren Goes to have a little bit of breathing space between himself and Adam Blair.
Meanwhile, this battle that we've kept having a look at, it's a battle for 11th overall, but it's one of the closest and most consistently entertaining out there on the circuit. It is a scrap between Jamie Hayes and the driver of the 28, which is of course George Jackson, as the BMW unfortunately heads into pit lane once again. Day to forget then, I'd say, for both drivers in the auto-revived London BMW. Of course, Chris Mills crossed the line first, demoted to 5th with a 10-second penalty. And now, while scrapping for the lead, David Gardner has seen the power let go on that number 166 BM. The gap between Sterling and Summers has not gone up at all. We see this continued battle for what will now be 7th overall as the BMW heads back towards the paddock, unfortunately.
It's been such a shame that BMW has never been able to really show off its true pace in its finishing position. It's been quick all day, and unfortunately that's the end of its day.
Just going onto the weighbridge now, game over unfortunately for the 166 crew. Darren Goes then has ended up with quite a nice cushion as a result of that car's departure from the lead battle. Darren goes now with a 6-second advantage over Adam Blair at the sharp end of the order. Easy does it now. The driver who has been right up in the sharp end, right in the thick of it in Turismo X all season long. Didn't have the best run of fortune, all told, it must be said, last time out at Anglesey. But seemingly, thus far, has made up for it quite nicely. Of course, had a great run this morning in both qualifying and SuperPole. Didn't quite end up with the win today in race 1. Race 2 is looking a lot more promising. Slow Civic there, I think that might have been Scalzi, unfortunately. No, that would have been the Baldwin car, unfortunately, the 2002 EP3 Civic. Adam Blair there in second place then, has actually gone quicker on the last lap than Darren goes, but one suspects it is to little avail. Neither driver has tempted their fastest laps of the last couple of laps. I think both drivers secure and accepting of their finishing positions in this one. They've just got to hope the car stays underneath them. Dylan Brichter there in a third place. Overall, not this Civic that you see on screen if you're watching MSVT. Brichter, of course, in Seat Supercopa, running third overall at the moment, and Adam Blair just lapping the Porsche Boxster from the rear of the order. That's number 30 car, which in this race is being driven by Gary Martin. Generation 1 Boxster, the 986 Boxster. After many years of trying, Porsche finally introduced a baby 911 into the marketplace for the arrival of the Boxster. One of the few cars that really turned the fortunes of Porsche around for the new millennium. Darren goes. Leads the way then in the RS3, and that gap between Darren and Adam has definitely gone down again, hasn't it? Sparks flying from the bottom of the TT of Adam Blair as he presses on, getting his eye in perhaps for Enduro Car qualifying, which will take place on the 200 circuit a little later on this afternoon. Of course, that's a point as well. Adam's going to have to get used to running the 200 circuit as opposed to the 300 circuit once they hand him the IP Racing Ford car for the quali session later on this afternoon. Incidentally, that session won't be broadcast live here on MSVT, but if you are here at the circuit, we will be bringing you the action from that qualifying session. Of course, tomorrow the live stream will be back for the 9 hours of Enduro Car racing, the Schweinerennen in 9 hours at Snetterton. 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds left of this race then. It is Darren Goes who runs through Agostini as our race leader. The gap did go down, 4.2 seconds between Goes and Blair on the previous lap. I think that's more less an indicator of Adam Blair's superior pace and more an indicator that Darren Goes is just taking it easy now to get to the checkered flag. Goes runs through the Williams corner, followed by this man, Adam Blair. They both go out onto the Bentley straight for what will be the final time for Turismo X. It will also be the last lap completed in anger this weekend on the 300 circuit before we shift over the shorter 200 layout for the rest of the weekend for the Enduro Car category. So Turismo X has once again provided us with some very compelling racing between very different cars. The kind of thing that this style of competition often provides us with. It's It's been a resounding success thus far. We've had great racing at all rounds of Turismo X. And this weekend's final winner in Turismo X is Darren Goes. Penalty to be applied to Adam Blair, a 5-second penalty. I reckon that might be track limits right at the end of the race there, but that shouldn't affect his finishing position. Adam Blair still finishes in second place. Third place, a distant third place for Dylan Brichter. Coming across the line for fourth after him will be Scott Parkin, who ended up having a fairly lonely tail end of that one. Just finishing on the road behind the Porsche that was a lap down there. Due to come across the line in fifth place is LeMaster in the number 65 car. That'll be the first Lotus home in the kind of a lease trophy subcategory that we've got going on here in Turismo X. That will be fifth overall. Good result for LeMaster then in the 65 car. But who's going to get sick? It could be anyone here because we've got a great scrap going on. Jonathan Mead continuing his recovery drive. Couldn't quite get to the inside of Steve Summers, and because the two Lotuses almost got together for the first time all race, Kevin Sterling had a little bit of breathing room as he crossed the line to take sixth overall. Summers held on to seventh. Jonathan Mee, who of course spun at the first corner of the race, finishes eighth overall. Great racing between them, and here's another battle that we've been keeping tabs on gradually all race long, and Jackson going for it. George Jackson trying to get to the inside there of the 114 car being driven by Jamie Hayes. So Jamie Hayes has been by and large holding off the advances of the Golf, and it looks like the order may remain the same. Let's see if the Seat driver can hold on. Who's quicker in a straight line? I thought they looked pretty equidistant. If anything, it looked like the Seat was a bit quicker. Certainly lower drag with less aerodynamic appendages. And it is a drag race to the line, and it will go in favour of the Seat. Good result then for Jamie Hayes to take ninth overall after a good scrap with Jackson, the number 28 Wolf Motorsports Golf. Darren Go. Then our race winner. Great result for Darren once again.
Off of me door. It's dropped in again. Oh. Third gear's gone. What? Third gear's gone.
Of course, didn't claim the win in race one. That honour went to Adam Blair. But despite the best efforts, in particular of David Gardner, Darren Goes managed to secure the win here in race number 2 in the RS3. The TCR spec machine that I think, as Kieran alluded